Hello everyone, and welcome to game number 2 between Team Opportunity and Team SSV B Team. We have, spawning in the top left, Metal, the red Terran player. He is, of course, for Team SSV B Team, and his opponent is Xandix. Xandix won game number 1 for Team Opportunity. He is spawning as the orange Protoss. I am, of course, Kadoink, not Boisterous. However, Boisterous is here with me today. We are co-casting this lovely tournament for the SC2 Clans. If you don't know what SC2 Clans is, you should totally go to sc2clans.org. It is a wonderful website. And this is game number 2 in a best of 7 here in the finals bracket.
Yeah, you know, Kadoink, that's actually something we really haven't stressed enough at all this tournament. SC2 Clans is the website that's throwing this kind of entire thing together. Me and Kadoink just show up. So if you really want to appreciate the people that are actually doing the work for this tournament, just head on over there. Because
Yeah.
it's really not me and Kadoink.
Big thanks to War Eagle. War Eagle is the mastermind behind this whole thing. He's an absolute genius, and he did a fantastic job. For those of you who haven't been to the SC2 Clan site, it's actually wonderful. It's a really good site. It's got a great calendar thing going on, good news posts, a forum. It's an awesome site. So for those of you who haven't gone to it, please just go check it out. It is really well organized, and you will certainly enjoy it. And then the next tournament we do, you guys can most certainly be a part of that and enjoy all the wonderful things that War Eagle has brought for us.
And you can also find a ton of clans to join. There's, in fact, just an entire page where you can just scroll through them. So if you're like a gold player, you can just scroll through it and look for a clan that accepts gold players and then go and apply at their separate websites or send them emails or harass them in really any way you can possibly think of. It's quite an extensive and impressive thing.
Yeah.
It looks like Metal's going for a reasonably fast tech lab on this barracks, so Reaper harass? Some sort of pressure?
I personally doubt it. Reaper is something that is kind of been shot out of the metagame. In fact, although I say that, but today I was watching Marine King's stream, and he went strictly Marauder Reaper, which was weird. And actually he is going Reaper, so I am totally mistaken. I don't think this is a very good choice. The first Zealot will be out, and once the Cybernetics score finishes, he will be able to chrono boost out a Stalker, which will effectively shut down the Reaper, making it essentially useless. So we'll have to see how this works out for him. You know, I'd like to see the Reaper make a comeback, but I just don't foresee this happening in this game.
Yeah, I think the Reaper changes they're making are actually quite genius. However, I don't know. Reapers are actually surprisingly good. I think they're a unit that catches a lot of flack.
I think that the issue with the Reaper is that they're not strong enough to be that useful, right?
Yeah.
Players have gotten really good at getting just enough out to be able to deal with Reapers that you can't really hold on. And so the regen is actually a really good upgrade for Heart of the Swarm. However, I think they need a little bit of an armor boost so they can come in, kind of take a little more damage, and then leave, do the regen, and come back. Otherwise, I don't think it will be warranted. However, we have something very interesting happening. We have the Stalker and the Zealot moving out across the map right now. There is, of course, a Marauder in Metal's base, so he will be able to deal with this. However, this Reaper will be allowed to go straight into Xandix's base, and he might even get a few kills, a few probe kills.
Yeah, this Reaper is actually kind of just chilling at the back ramp. He's waiting for the proper time to strike. I'm not sure when that time's actually going to present itself, though.
Yeah.
Because it looks like Xandix is actually just returning to his base, so Metal might have literally just, sat through his entire opportunity to actually get damage done with this Reaper. I'm surprised Xandix is keeping both of his units at the main watchtower. And Xandix is also going for a Stargate. So that's kind of an interesting play versus Terran, because honestly, I can completely understand it versus Zerg. Stargates are actually wonderful versus Zerg. However, against Terran, there's not a whole lot you can do with things like Void Rays and Phoenixes.
Yeah, Stargate play has kind of been, lost in the TVP matchup, and we do see that Metal finally moved out with his with his Reaper, which is actually very interesting. Even though he didn't get anything, he didn't get any kills, he did see that Stargate, and that's actually going to be pretty important because he was being very Marauder heavy. And now he's putting 2 reactors on his barracks. He will be able to pump out Marines very easily, and he's also going to be getting down his starport. So there's no real chance that he can be caught off guard by like a major Void Ray push or anything like that, now that he's gotten that intel. And we can see the Reaper did finally go down. So we'll have to see what Xanax has up his sleeve. He's kind of going in 2 different tech paths. He's getting the Stargate up, but he's also getting a robotics facility. And they don't really help each other out that much, you know. The benefit of going robo is you get a lot hardier units like your Mortals and your Colossi, and then you can get your Warp Prism and your Observer to get the airspace and see what's going on. And he doesn't really need Phoenix and Colossi, Phoenix and Void Rays with the robotics facility tech. So I'm really interested to see how this will turn out.
Yeah, I actually do kind of like this idea because it allows a very rapid tech switch. And robotics facilities, they do cost a lot, yeah, but I mean, it's not a huge economy sink that like you cannot come back from. It's just like a stalker essentially, almost, or 2 stalkers, I guess, technically. And we see the Phoenixes moving out across the map. There are now 4 Phoenixes, and it looks like he stopped production at that. And, you know, this is kind of the big thing that Phoenixes are used for, and that's just picking up units. Like, literally not even really killing them, just getting them out of the fight, kind of CCing them from really doing anything. And he did quite a good job there. He traded really, I think, efficiently.
Yeah, however, in this case, I feel like Xanax is very, very fortunate. I feel like Metal should have a lot more units at this point in the game, here at the 10-minute mark, and he should have been able to hold that just fine, which he did hold on to it. But in this sort of situation, Xanax doesn't have that much. He only has 3 stalkers. The Phoenixes, once they kill a few units in the army, they're eventually voided, you know, useless. Whereas Metal has 2 medevacs out. He has quite a bit of Marines. If he would start pumping out some Marauders as well to deal with those Stalkers a little more, he would have such a nice army compared to this, like, kind of half army that Xanax has because he went this Stargate play. In fact, we see him pushing up with these Stalkers, and he very shortly finds out that he just cannot push into that. And so he will be forced to take a third and kind of pull back and hope to get his macro up a lot higher. But
well, I mean, the big thing Xanax has done currently is he's kind of just thrown a giant red herring in the path of Metal. Because Metal, even though we saw the Stargate, he did not see the robotics facility. So we now have ranged Colossus coming out and a giant ball of Marines.
That is very true.
And as we all know, Marines are not that good against Colossus. They really are not. So even though there are 5 Phoenixes that are going to be nearly worthless, and even then, they can still kill medevacs, and killing medevacs is extremely useful. You know, this Marine ball, it's going to take like 1 Colossus and a couple sentries to absolutely decimate it, and you know, that's exactly what Xanax has currently, and that's basically exactly what he needs.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is going to do very, very well for Xanax, and it might even win him the game right here outright. But at the same time, I just don't feel like this is a very solid strategy. I feel like any good player who's constantly pushing and scouting and checking up on information will be able to figure this out. And we do see the Marines are going in, trying to target the Colossi. In fact, they almost get it down, but the whole army goes down for Metal, and now he's just left with 2 medevacs and a few Marines. Metal looking like he's in a huge amount of trouble now.
Yeah, Metal actually is in an extreme amount of trouble, because in that engagement, Xanax lost nothing. He literally lost 0 units, and Metal lost, you know, his entire army, which comes out to like 2,300 resources worth.
Yeah.
And that's pretty significant. Now this Colossus has range, so it's going to be much more dangerous to these Marines. And Metal really doesn't have the infrastructure to come up with anything to fight them. So this is basically just gonna be Xanax walking into Metal's base.
Yeah,
and
there's the GG. Yeah, congratulations Xanax for taking game number 2 with a strategy I don't feel like is incredibly solid. I don't think we'll see this in top level play. But you know what? A win's a win, and so congratulations. That's a second win for Team Opportunity. SSV B team's going to have to pull something out of their hat in order to continue on as two more games, two more games, and it'll be over. So yeah, we'll see you guys in game number 3.